I take it back. This is the best camera smartphone of 2024. Not the Google Pixel 9 Pro, not the S24 Ultra, and not even the iPhone 16 Pro lineup. I've tested them all and none blew me away like this device. Meet the Vivo X200 Pro, my daily driver for a while now, and it's completely redefined how I think about smartphone photography. The funny thing here is that I almost didn't review this device, but sometimes the best surprises come from the most unexpected places. Let me share with you why this phone changed everything for me. Of course, I'll share with you my findings and thoughts, and so without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Out of this nice looking box, you get to see the smartphone itself, a 90-watt charger and its connecting cable, and also a nice looking TPU case, and that's about it. First impressions, Vivo definitely knows how to grab attention, but if I'm being honest here, I wasn't completely sold at first. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say, the backpack on the phone. Yep, that camera bump, it's massive. It almost feels like this smartphone is carrying a little suitcase. I even thought I'd constantly keep wiping smudges off these lenses because of my fingers would, keep grazing on them. But surprisingly, that hasn't been the case or an issue at all. Does this smartphone wobble on flat surfaces? Oh, absolutely. Even with the case on this device, it's a bit like a rocking chair. And yes, it's top heavy. But here's the wild part. Vivo somehow makes it all work. The build quality is top notch, it has this aluminum frame, you also get Gorilla Glass victors on both sides, and this thing feels premium. But here's the kicker, it's surprisingly weighted at about 220 grams. With this camera bump, I was actually bracing for a brick, but nope, Vivo kept it manageable. Now let's talk colors. The cosmic blue and the stellar black options are stunning, but this blue version here, it's got this magical way of catching the light. And that's the reason I went for this color with no regrets. Oh, and don't even worry about water or dust. This baby's got IP69 rating, which means it's basically rainproof, splashproof, and also life-proof. Don't mind me. And that's a step above your typical IP68 flagship devices. Now a heads up, while the frosted glass back feels incredible in your hands, it's also a bit of a fingerprint magnet. If you're not a fan of smudges, and who is, you probably want to use the case included in the box, or snag a better one that keeps it clean and stylish. The stereo speakers on the Vivo X200 Pro are solid but not mind-blowing. Compared to the iPhone 16 Pro, they lack that punchy bass, and the Pixel 9 Pro sounds better and cleaner overall. That said, the bass is present, the mids are clear, and there's minimal distortion at high volumes. Definitely good, but not top tier. Now the haptics, that's a different story. Every tap, type, and notification feels precise and satisfying. It's kind of the attention to detail that screams premium, and Vivo absolutely nailed it. Let's talk about the biometrics here. The ultrasonic fingerprint scanner on this thing, it's blazing fast. I'm talking about blink and you'll miss it fast. You barely touch it and boom, it's unlocked. It's like this phone knows you're coming before you even do. What's really fun here though is the customization. Vivo lets you pick up to 13 different unlock animations. Yes, you heard that right, 13. From swirls to ripples and to light beams, there's something for everyone. And if flashy isn't your thing, you can turn the animations off entirely and keep it clean and simple. Oh, and the face unlock feature here is solid. It works in low light with no problems. But what really stands out for me is how consistent it is. In all the time I've been using the smartphone as my daily driver, it hasn't failed me once, not a single time. That kind of reliability is rare, and honestly, I'm here for it. The display on the X200 Pro is more than just impressive. It's a whole experience. You're getting a 6.7-inch AMOLED panel with a resolution of 1260 by 2800, slightly above QHD, and a pixel density of 452 ppi. And that simply means everything is ridiculously crisp and vibrant. But here's where things get wild. 4500 nits of peak brightness. For context, that's flashlight level brightness. Okay, maybe not literally, but you'll never have to squint your eye even under harsh sunlight. Plus you've got Gorilla Glass victors to keep it safe from scratches, and there's even a plastic screen protector pre-installed if you want that extra protection or plan to add your own later. Now let's talk about the tech on this display. The LTPO display allows the refresh rate to go from a buttery smooth 120Hz all the way down to 1Hz, and that would help you conserve your battery. Scrolling feels fluid, gaming is a joy, and streaming movies, thanks to the HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision support, is an absolute treat for your eyes. Vivo really went all out on this display. It's bright, durable, smooth, and just a delight to use. Honestly, I can't find a single thing to complain about this display. Now performance. Let's talk about the MediaTek Dimensity 9400 we have on here. I know what some of you are thinking right now. MediaTek in a flagship device, really? But hear me out. This chip is no joke, it's a powerhouse. Apps open instantly, transitions are buttery smooth, and multitasking is seamless on this device. I've put this phone through its paces, running everything from basic social media apps to demanding tasks, even editing 4K videos with no hiccups. Now playing graphically intense games on the smartphone on max settings with zero stutters. I've also run multiple apps side by side and switching between them with not even a hint of lag. Honestly, if you're worried about performance because of the MediaTek name, don't be. This smartphone is more than capable of taking on the Snapdragon gang and maybe even beating some of them at their own game. In benchmark scores, I got over 60% better scores than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 from the S24 Ultra. It was even closer to the 8 Elite on the newer devices like the S25 Ultra and the iQOO 13. Geekbench is close to the latest Snapdragon, just to give you an idea of how powerful this device is. Now let's talk about gaming. If you're a gamer, then this smartphone is going to put a smile on your face. I mean, Genshin Impact at max settings is very smooth here, and when I say smooth, I mean no stutters, no frame drops, just pure seamless gameplay. I also put Call of Duty Mobile through its paces, cranking everything up to max graphics and max frame rates. And let me tell you something, it felt like I was playing on a console. The gameplay was responsive, especially when I turned on Ultra Gaming mode. This mode isn't just a gimmick either, it actually works, optimizing performance while blocking notifications so you can focus completely on the action. The 120Hz display is the real MVP here, making every swipe, aim, and movement feel incredibly fluid. Combine that with the power of the Dimensity 9400 chip, and the gaming experience becomes an absolute joy. Whether you're dodging the enemies or pulling off some crazy combos, it all feels effortless. Another thing that impressed me here was the heat management. After about 30 minutes of intense gaming, this phone was just warm, not hot, not uncomfortable, just warm enough to remind you that it's working hard. Vivo really nailed the thermals on this device, which is something a lot of devices and smartphones in this price range struggle with. So if you're into gaming and looking for a smartphone that can keep up, this one has got you covered. And hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and maybe share this with someone who needs a gaming upgrade. It will really mean a lot to me. Thank you. Now let's talk about the software on this smartphone. This device runs on Android 15, but the experience you get depends on the version you pick up. If you're using the international or global ROM, you get FunTouch OS 15, a smooth and feature-packed game. But if you're like me and you're using the China ROM, you'll be running on Origin OS 5, which is, well, a unique ride. This is surprisingly smooth with customization options and features like Ultra Game Mode that takes your performance to the next level. That said, the China ROM does come with some quirks. For starters, there's quite a lot of bloatware, apps that you probably never use unless you live in that region. I had to spend some time uninstalling them to declutter the experience, and then there's a lack of Google apps out of the box. You actually need to install those yourself. It's not complicated, but it does take a little tinkering, so keep that in mind. On the bright side, Vivo promises 3 years of major software updates and 4 years of security patches. That's a big deal, especially if you plan on holding on to this device for a while. It's reassuring to know that you're not just buying a device, you're getting long-term support, which isn't always guaranteed these days. Now let's talk about the extras, those little things that make life easier. First up, there's NFC support. So whether it's mobile payments or quick file transfers, you're covered. Then there's this IR blaster. Yep, you can use this smartphone to control your TV, AC, or basically anything with a remote. It's one of those features you don't think you'll use until you actually do. And when you do, you begin to wonder how you've ever lived without it. Oh, and let's not forget about the dual SIM support. So whether you're juggling work and personal numbers, or maybe you just like the flexibility of having 2 SIMs, Vivo's got you covered. Honestly, it feels like Vivo left no stone unturned here. They've packed in all the little conveniences that make a phone not just smart, but smarter. Remember that massive camera bump I mentioned? Well, inside it is just what might just be the best camera system we have on a smartphone up until now. It's developed by Zeiss. The main 50 megapixel sensor with that f1.6 aperture is incredible, but let's get to the real star, that 200 megapixel telephoto lens. Yes, 200 megapixels, and it's here to change the way you think about smartphone cameras. Let's talk about the photos. The shots this smartphone produces are nothing short of impressive. They are vibrant, detailed, and come out exactly how you want them to. Almost too good to be true. But what really stands out to me is the macro shots. Using that 200 megapixel telephoto sensor, you get incredible detail, so much so that these macro photos could easily make it to the front cover of a nature magazine. Check this out. This is what my left eye looks like when you take a picture up close. Isn't that insane? When it comes to photography, this might just be the camera to beat right now. I've actually enjoyed taking photos on this device more than my Pixel 9 Pro, and this is how they compare for these shots. The depth this sensor captures is unreal. You get some of the best depth of field I've ever seen on any smartphone. Seriously, it's almost like you used a DSLR camera to take these shots. Now let's talk about the zoom. The 10x zoom is incredible. It's so smooth and clean, it's the best I've ever seen on a smartphone at this zoom level, and this is how it compares to the 10x on the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the S24 Ultra. No camera is doing better than this at 10x. And for night photography, this smartphone makes dark scenes look like they were shot in daylight. Whether you're capturing a starry sky or a low-light urban scene, the results are nothing short of impressive. The portrait mode on this smartphone rivals professional-grade cameras, for lack of better words. The subject separation and natural bokeh are fantastic, making your photos look like they came straight out of a pro camera. And for the creators out there, don't worry, the 50-megapixel ultra-wide sensor isn't just an afterthought. It's excellent for those wide shots and getting more of the scene in your frame without sacrificing quality. The front-facing camera is a 32-megapixel shooter that does a lot well, with detailed shots for the photos it takes. I can easily post this on social media without edits. When it comes to the videos, you can shoot up to 8K 30fps, which is great for those who want to push the limits, but I think 4K is where the phone shines. You can go up to 60fps at 4K. It's stunning whether you're vlogging, shooting cinematic scenes, or just capturing a moment with friends. The video quality is quite good, but I wouldn't say this is better than what you get with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. The front video can go up to 4K in resolution, and there's nothing really to complain about this front camera. Here are some shots compared to other flagship devices for the front video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. In short, the Vivo X200 Pro is a photography beast. Whether you are a casual shooter or a pro, this camera is ready to impress, and I'd say my best peak Android smartphone camera right now. Here's where the X200 Pro really shocked me. That 6000 mAh battery is a monster. I've been consistently getting close to 10 hours of screen on time, and I still had about 19% left at 9 PM, and that's with heavy use. I did play Call of Duty Mobile on this device for 30 minutes, and the battery dropped from 81% to 73%, and that's only an 8% dip after 30 minutes of gameplay at max settings and ultra gaming mode turned on. And when you do need to charge this device, 90 watts wired charging has got you covered. I mean, in 30 minutes, you're back in business. The 30 watts wireless charging is pretty good too, though not as impressive as the wired speeds. You can also do this reverse wireless charging too, to charge your accessories when the need arises. And with this massive battery life, you'd feel comfortable sharing your power. I got mine for about $815, which is roughly 1.4 million naira. This smartphone isn't exactly cheap, but consider what you're getting: flagship performance, exceptional cameras, outstanding battery life, and premium build quality. Compared to smartphones crossing the $1,000 mark, it's a compelling value proposition. The Vivo X200 Pro isn't perfect. The software, while much improved, still has some little quirks. That camera bump won't be to everyone's taste. It's massive and makes this phone top-heavy. Those are minor nitpicks in what is otherwise an exceptional smartphone. This isn't just another flagship device, it's a smartphone that pushes boundaries, especially in photography. It made me question my preconceptions about smartphones' cameras and the MediaTek chips. If you're on the market for a flagship smartphone and photography is a priority, then the X200 Pro deserves your attention. It's not just a great smartphone, it's a glimpse into the future of mobile photography. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and also check out this video where I talked about the S24 Ultra after a year of using that device as my daily driver. Catch you there. Cuidate.